Hello, I'm Darielle Snipes with the Cleveland Metropolitan School District News Bureau. With students beginning the new school year, we wanted to take some time during this special edition of CMSD on CW43 to provide some back-to-school tips for remote learning success. Now, just as you would do in any normal school year, it is important to establish good routines. Like adults, children are most comfortable when they have a good morning and a good evening routine to set them up for a great school day. Although these routines can be flexible, it is important to establish a pattern of normalcy for your child. So let's take a look at creating a schedule for the school day.
CMSD families, I'm Mrs. Holosik from Sunbeam Elementary School, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of creating a schedule for your child. We know that students thrive with structure and routine. One way to support your child during this time is to develop a schedule. This will let your child know what to expect and when. Having a schedule sets a routine, gives a sense of normalcy, builds structure, and keeps everyone on track. Let me show you some examples. My first example is a visual schedule. And I would recommend this type of schedule for a child who's in pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. And with this schedule, I tape some tag board together to make a long strip. Maybe you have poster boards you could use. Maybe you'll just put it on your refrigerator, however it works for you. And then I went and I found icons for each of the subjects for the day. Okay, so this represents morning meeting. This owl with a book might represent literacy. We know we're going to have some work on an iPad or computer. So for little ones, we might put the iPad there. If they have a computer, we would use that icon. Maybe we'll have science, lunch, math. As we go down through this, as we finish a subject, we're starting here at morning meeting, then we would say, next, we're going to literacy, and here we are. So when you're done with that subject, you would move the arrow to the next thing. And this will show your child what's going to occur, what they're doing now, and what they will do next. And you would continue that until the day was done. And down here, we have all done with a happy face. Now the second example I did is also a visual schedule, but with the times. So this way, your child knows at 8:30, we're going to meet the teacher for morning meeting. Then at 9, we're going to have literacy. At 10 o'clock, I might be on my iPad or the computer. And with these icons, I place a magnet on the back of it, or you could just use tape. So maybe your child has the computer at home. So we're going to have computer where we might be working on Seesaw or in Schoology. Then at 10:30, we might have art. 11:15 is lunch and a break and recess. And this might be the time you let your child go outside and run around and just have a break from the morning. On the back, I put the afternoon schedule. So after lunch at 12:15 is math. Then we might have to go back on the iPad and do something on Seesaw or in Schoology. And then perhaps we'll have social studies. Again, I made it so we could change it out, and maybe the next day we have science at that time. And then at 3 o'clock, we're all done. The third example, I used index cards. So this I would recommend for children who are 3rd grade to 5th grade, even in middle school. But I would recommend 3rd to 5th grade. And here we have, I color coded it. So the orange means that I'm meeting with the teacher in Microsoft Teams. The green means it's independent work time, and I'm probably going to be on Schoology completing assignments. The pink is when your child may have gym or music or art, and blue represents lunch and a break. So as you can see, we're going to start with morning meeting. Then we're going to go into literacy on Microsoft Teams, because that's where your child will be meeting the teacher and we'll have a live lesson. Then they may do some independent work on Schoology. At 10:30, science, again, they have to be on Microsoft Teams, so they know they have to get in there. Then it'll be lunch. At 12:15, again, math, I'm going to meet my teacher on Microsoft Teams. Then gym, and then more independent work on Schoology. Again, I made extras so you can switch them out depending on the day that you have music, art, or gym, or even social studies. So this was science on Monday. Maybe on Tuesday, we now have social studies. So you can flip it right out and make the change. The fourth example uses a simple piece of paper, daily schedule, broken up into 2 columns. This one where you put the times that the activities will occur, and this is the area for the subjects, activities, or tasks. So I just made up a schedule. It may look like this, it may look different. It just depends on your child's school, your child's teacher. Again, we start at 8:30, morning meeting. This is the time for attendance, check in, have a group discussion, maybe a read aloud. Then we move on through our day. And 3 o'clock school ends, but in between here, you might have time to get back on Schoology. The next example is a weekly schedule. Okay, broken down into the times and the days of the week going across. And this might be used by a middle schooler or a high schooler. And a high schooler, depending on their schedule, they might have a block here that this is biology. And then it might be lunch, and then it might be English. And the next day, it might be Spanish, lunch, and then it might be American government. So depending on your high schooler's schedule, this might work with them where they can see their daily subjects across the week and where they're supposed to be. And finally, if you have a special needs child, you might have this type of visual schedule. Where these icons may be familiar to that child, and they may use those in the classroom. And with this one, you pick the icon for the schedule, and there's lots of spaces. And with this schedule, I usually do an AM and a PM. So I have up to here, I usually put lunch. Here's lunch right now. But if it was lunch, I might just do lunch up to there, and then for the afternoon, switch it out. But what your child would do if they met with the teacher first, and they're all done, they would move it over, all done. And then it was reading, and move it over. If your child needs this type of schedule, I would reach out to your child's speech and language therapist to help you. Now, I suggest that you take the time and sit down with your child and create the schedule together. So this would be a good time when you make the schedule is to discuss the expectations of the school day. And if you have any other questions or problems, make sure you reach out to your child's teacher so they can assist you. We'll see you soon back in the classroom. Bye.
In addition to having a defined schedule, having an appropriate learning workspace can help your scholar take ownership of their work and also stay on track. Here are some tips about how to create a great remote learning workspace.
Hey CMSD families, my name is Katie Egan and I am a teacher at Sunbeam Elementary. Go Jaguars, whoop whoop, we miss you guys. We are so excited about the start of the school year next week, but we also know that this is going to be a very unique start for everyone, myself included, as I have my own 3 children at home virtually learning and they started last week. Because I have 3 children at home, I've kind of been able to see what it's going to take in this virtual world of learning and teaching and working together to achieve those education goals. One of the ways that I have seen it is really beneficial for my own children is to have individual workstations in your house. I'm fortunate enough to have a room where all of my children can be working with headphones at separate areas and still be able to do their work to the best that they can. I'm going to show you those things in a little bit, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about how unique this time is, and even though it's challenging, how we can make the best of it. I know that my own kids would much rather be at school than at their house. I would much rather my children be at school than at our house, but we're gonna try to work through this over the next 6 weeks and do our very best. So the 2 most important elements of these next 6 weeks is not academics necessarily, but grace and patience. Everybody is learning these things together, teachers, parents, and students, and we are all going to be troubleshooting and trying to figure out the best ways to get a hold of each other and to get a hold of our students and to be able to be face-to-face with them, even if that means that it's in front of a computer screen for a few weeks. So, one of the videos that was made by my colleague, Ms. Holosik, is creating schedules. That is something I'm going to touch on a little bit, but she did a whole amazing video about that, so I would take a look at that if I were you, and then take a look at this second in order to be able to build that schedule into a workstation, okay? So I'm going to show you the way that I set up my home, using some very inexpensive things from the Dollar Tree or just stuff that I repurposed and had at home in order to be able to create the best focus station for my own students. I'm going to show you the 3 workstations that I have set up in one room in my home. Each of my children are in a different grade level, and I wanted to reflect some of the things that they needed per their teacher at each station, and some of which my children sort of personalized with pictures that they chose or designs that they wanted. So it kind of was fun. They helped me design their area, and then some of the things that their teachers requested be out or organized in front of them, we were able to put together as a team. The most important part of your child's day that they're going to probably need right in front of them is their schedule. My own children's teachers put their schedules online, and your child's teacher will be doing the same, but it's nice to have it in big, bold, colorful print so that your child can just look to the left or right and it's right there. And then you can also look to the left or right and know what they're working on and if they are going to be live with their teacher or if they're going to be doing a video independently. I got this border at the Dollar Tree in a package, and I just sort of used it in each station. It was $1 and it was fun and bright and colorful. I also got the duct tape at Walmart for very inexpensive to sort of hang things up in a colorful way. My daughter chose a picture from her bedroom that she wanted to hang up of her friends. And then I got these little hooks to hang up the headphones at the Dollar Tree as well, and I got the headphones for pretty inexpensive at Walmart. I'm not gonna lie, they're not my favorite headphones, but I waited a really long time and most of the headphones that I was hoping to get for my children were out of stock. So I will be going back and possibly fixing which headphones they have. These work fine for right now, but they might not work fine for the long term. So just being flexible and having an option and just having something instead of the best is the way that it has to be right now. I hung my daughter's passwords up to the websites and email address that she's going to be using. She has a whiteboard per the request of her teacher with a dry erase marker, and I ended up just cutting up a little magic eraser that you can get for very inexpensive for a package of them. I just cut them into pieces so as it gets dirty and old we can just replace it really easily. You can also use a sock. Her teacher requested certain colors for certain subject areas with notebooks and folders, so those are organized for her there. And I just ended up using a napkin holder to keep it all in place in front of her. Having a lamp or some lighting is really helpful. She's in 2nd grade, so having her hundreds chart there for her to be able to count with math. And then I just found really cute decals that you can use dry erase marker on to write whose little space it is at Walmart for $1. So this is her learning nook. My son is in 3rd grade and he has a pretty similar setup to my daughter. He has his schedule, he also has his headphones, he has some artwork that he did. He chose a picture for his workstation. He has his Chromebook from school, and then he also has some books out so that when it's quiet reading time, he can just pick it up and go. He also really wanted his own pencil cup, and then there's a plastic cup there that you can see because he likes to get up and get water breaks a lot. So having a water bottle or a cup is also helpful because then they don't have to get up and miss instruction. My youngest child is in kindergarten, and at first when I got the information that she was going to be virtual as well, I felt the most overwhelmed about her because kindergarten is all about play and socialization and being in person, and I really struggled with how are we going to navigate this virtually and on a computer program. But just like everything in the last 6 months, you kind of have that moment of stress and then keep it moving. So what I found, and I can't take credit for this as an original idea, I found this idea on Pinterest. This is a cardboard poster from the Dollar Tree. So I bought 2, they were $2 a piece. I used that same duct tape to tape it together in the middle, and it can actually fold in. The reason that I created this sort of big poster board next to her is so that she has complete privacy from what her brother and sister are doing. So this sort of blocks out their screens. She can't see. So if she's sitting right here at her computer
to the left of her is her sort of barrier of learning. One of the ways that you can make it stand up is if you, in the front and the back, sort of tape it to whatever workspace or table that you have it on. So that way it's not going anywhere if she bumps it. I thought it would be fun to just include some of the things that kindergartners need the most. She has her schedule, and really that's more there for me because she can't read it yet. And then I created her name the way that she would see it while practicing in kindergarten. So I drew the line across, the line on the bottom, and the dotted lines in the middle, and that looks like the tracing paper that she would use. And then over on the other side, I did it with the shortened version of her name because she likes to write the shortened version more. Her headphones, I put the ABC letter sound from Jack Hartman that was provided by her teacher. I just taped that up there. And then one of the things that was really important that her teacher sent was a little supply box and just the several different items that she needs as a kindergartner each day. So she uses 2 pencils, scissors, a handful of crayons, glue, and a dry erase marker for her dry erase board that her teacher sent. Her teacher also sent some math manipulatives. If your teacher sends them, they might not come in this fancy case, but it's kind of important to keep those math manipulatives in some type of a little box because then they can stay really organized. Just like my son, having some books available right in front, even if it's just 1 or 2 books so they're not overwhelmed. When it's quiet reading time, she just grabs her favorite one. So these are the 2 that she brought. And a lamp or some type of lighting. And then I ended up just getting a table out of our garage. It's like an old, sort of stained up, dirty, big card table. And I went to the Dollar Tree and found a fun tablecloth. And the tablecloth will probably get destroyed pretty quickly, but you can replace it, or I could just take it off and have the old kind of dusty, dirty table. So this is a way for things to feel really personalized. My 3rd grader and my 2nd grader don't need that as much as my kindergartner. So each of your child's needs are going to be really different. And so for my youngest, Abigail, she needs to have total privacy, and she also needs to have some of those reminder things. How do I spell my name? How do I make the number 1? Where can I hang my headphones where I can really see it? What are my letter sounds? Those are really just the basics of what she needs to know right now. So it cost all of about $4 to put this together, and then she has it for the whole time. She also has her Chromebook provided by the school. So that's a kindergartner's workstation compared to a 3rd grader's and a 2nd grader's.
I hope you've enjoyed getting to see how to set up a successful area for your child to work quietly and independently in your home. I know that this seems overwhelming and can sometimes feel impossible, and trust me, I have felt that just as much with my own children along the way. It is possible, but it's going to take a lot of patience and a lot of grace in understanding your child's teacher and what they're asking, and also understanding that your child is going to take a few weeks to get into a good groove of being able to use that workstation to access what their teacher is asking them to do. They will probably need some one-on-one assistance from a parent or a guardian, a sibling, grandma, anyone that can step in to help. And also know that it's okay if you don't know what you're doing for the first few weeks, because teachers are also figuring that out as we go. And this is new for everyone. So having a quiet workstation, it could be anywhere in your home. If it has to be in the kitchen, it has to be in the kitchen. If you have a space that you can set up with a card table or a little desk, go for it. If it has to be in your child's bedroom because that's the only place that you have to set it up, go for it. Just pick a place that you are going to be able to sort of buzz around and monitor and be able to hear what's going on in case you need to step in and help. And pick a place that your child feels that they can be comfortable and be themselves and make it look like a workstation that they would be proud to use. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. My email address is katie.egan, E-G-A-N, at clevelandmetroschools.org, and I will be happy to walk you through any steps of setting up your future learning station for your scholar. Have a great last week before school starts, and we look forward to signing on and seeing your smiling faces on the computer screens next week. Good luck.
During remote learning, scholars will be using an online learning management system to complete schoolwork and for classes. Our youngest scholars will be using a platform called Seesaw, while our older scholars will be using Schoology. Now, parents and caregivers will have access to their child's learning management system. That way they can monitor their child's progress, but also view their activities and engagement. Now, in order to access the learning management system, every parent and caregiver is going to need to create their own Clever Learning Portal account. Now, if you haven't already done so, take a look at this video about how to access Seesaw and Schoology with Clever.
Good morning. Today I will be showing you how to log into Clever. Before you get started, make sure that you have your CMSD email address and password handy. You should have received this from your school, but if you need help, please call the school's main office and they can get you your username and password. The first thing you want to do is find either the Clever button or the Chrome app on the desktop. I don't have the Clever button, so I'm using Chrome. Once you open up Chrome, type in the web address for Clever, which is clever.com/in/CMSD. Go ahead and hit enter and make sure you hit the star button so that it remains a bookmark for you. Hit login with Active Directory. Here's where you're going to need your email address. All CMSD email addresses follow the same format. First name, last name, at cmsdk12.org. Hit next. Now you'll type in your password. Passwords are case sensitive, so make sure that you are following the right case. You may want to stay signed in. I would only recommend doing this if you are not sharing a computer. If only you use it, go ahead and hit yes. Otherwise, hit no. Clever will now load. You'll see the teacher pages that have already been created as you've been enrolled in courses. You're going to scroll down and find the Schoology button. You're going to make sure to click on the heart. That'll make it a favorite and put it instantaneously up on the top under favorite resources, so it's the first thing you see the next time you come to Clever. Go ahead and click on Schoology. Click Go to Schoology. Here you'll see any recent activity that's happened. As school hasn't started yet, there isn't any. And if you click on the course dashboard button, you'll also be able to see all your courses listed. Again, school hasn't started, so we don't see any courses. I hope that this was helpful, and if you need further assistance, please reach out to your own school. Thank you and have a great day.
The purpose of this video is to help parents navigate Seesaw, both from a student perspective and a parent or family member perspective. Seesaw is a tool that the district is using in the primary grades. Seesaw creates a powerful learning loop that brings together students, teachers, and families to deepen student learning. Let's first look at joining Seesaw as a student. Students can join Seesaw through the Clever or Seesaw app on a tablet or smartphone, as well as through the web browser on a computer, laptop, or notebook PC. Students should be accessing Seesaw through their Schoology classroom in Clever so that teachers can monitor and record their work. Students can join Seesaw by going into their Schoology classroom through the Clever Student Portal. The Clever Portal can be accessed through the CMSD webpage or through the Clever app on a smartphone or tablet. Your child's principal can provide his or her email address and password if needed when logging in the first time. Students can access all classroom content and interact with the materials posted on Seesaw by their teacher and classmates. Let's first look at logging in through Clever. To access the Clever student portal, go to the CMSD homepage and click Students at the top of the web browser. Under Students, you can find the Clever portal listed there. Click Clever to access the portal. If you have a smartphone, you can also download the Clever app for free and access the Clever portal through the app. If you go into the Clever portal this way, you will need your student's username and password. That can be obtained from your student's principal or teacher. Once you are inside the Student Clever portal, look for the Schoology icon. You can click the Schoology icon to enter your Schoology classroom. Once inside that classroom, your teacher will have a link for Seesaw to be accessed right inside that classroom. Your student can also access Seesaw directly inside the portal by clicking the Seesaw icon. The Seesaw icon can be found by scrolling closer to the bottom where all apps are listed for students. Once you are inside Seesaw, look for the link that says I'm a student and click that link to enter Seesaw as a student. The first time you log in as a student, there are a few ways that you can get in. You can add the access code provided by your teacher. You can scan it if you have it on paper, or if you are logging in as a student through the Clever portal, you will not need the code to enter, but you may have a few questions to answer to verify that it's you. Once you are successfully logged into Seesaw, windows will pop up to show you what's new in the program. You are able to explore journals, you can easily look for updates, and you can look at the inbox for messages. Once you are in Seesaw, you will be able to click your name when it pops up. The system will ask you to confirm your name, and you can click the green check mark to confirm. From the main screen, you can go directly to the journals. You can add a journal post as a student. You can check your inbox for messages, or you can look for activities that are waiting for you to finish. A teacher can assign activities or tasks, and they will pop up to let you know that they need to be completed. You are also able to see your teacher's virtual classroom, and through that virtual classroom, you can click to access individual activities, center activities, games, and learning tasks that are assigned to you each week. As a student, you can add to your journal. You can either click the Add Something button or the plus mark with the green circle. Anytime you are adding to your work, you have the option to add a photo, a drawing, a video, an upload of a document, a note that you can type, or a link to another resource. When you go to your inbox, you're able to see any messages that you receive as a student. Teacher announcements are also posted here. If you would like to create a message to send out to your teacher, you can click the green plus sign. Let's take a minute and look at the activities that can be assigned through Seesaw. This is an example of a sight word activity using the word then. This activity has been assigned to a student, and you are able to click on it to play the instructions and then add a response. This is the example of the completed sight word activity. You are able to record yourself using the microphone saying the word. You can use a pen to circle the word in the second box. You can trace the word to write it on the lines, and then you can type the word in the last box. In the middle, you're able to take the letters and build the word then. This activity shows you one way that a teacher can assign a task to a student, and when you complete the task, this is something that it could look like. You would click the green check mark when you are finished. The task will show up in your journal as finished, waiting for teacher approval. That is how your teacher will be able to track your progress and look at the work that you've completed. Let's look at another way to post your work. You're able to connect a drawing. If you would like to add a drawing to your work, you would click the pencil where it says drawing. If you are adding a drawing, the white screen comes up with many options. You can add text, you can write with the markers and the different pens at the bottom, you can record yourself with the microphone, you can take your picture with the camera, and you can change the colors of your pens. Now let's go over joining Seesaw through the Family app and link. In the Family app, families only see their own child's posts or posts that their child's tagged in. Families are not able to interact or see work from any other children. There are a few different ways to access your child's Seesaw account as a family member or parent. The first and easiest way to get in is using the email with the code provided by your child's teacher. This is an example of what the email would look like. There will be a code with an expiration date and a link directly to the app where families can log into Seesaw. As a family member, you can also install the Seesaw Family app onto a smartphone or tablet. Once you open the Seesaw app, you can click the bottom blue button to create a family account. Once your family account is set up, you would just use the green family sign-in each time you log into Seesaw as a family member or parent. If you are logging in from a web browser and your screen looks like this one, you're going to click I'm a family member. A window will pop up so that you can enter the code provided by your child's teacher. Once you enter the code, you can click Go. If your child's teacher provided you with a QR code to scan, you can scan it using your smartphone to access the classroom in Seesaw. Once you enter the class, you will see that you're not connected to any children yet. When you click Add Child's Journal with a QR code or a class link, you can use the information sent to you by the teacher through the email. You will be able to choose your child from a list of names that pops up. After you select your child's name, a box will pop up for you to confirm that that is your child and that you need to access his or her journal. You will click the blue OK button, and then the system will send a message that tells you that you're waiting on approval by the teacher. The teacher will need to approve your access to that student's notebook and confirm that you are the right person to access the notebook. Once that is approved, you will see a recent notification pop up under your notifications to tell you that it was approved. And once it's approved, you're able to go into your child's journal to look at some of their work. When you are successfully in the system, Seesaw will inform you of what's new in the app. You're able to easily view new updates and see recent posts for all of your children in the Home tab. You're able to explore journals and journal postings that your child has posted, and you can look at messages from teachers and privately reply to the teacher directly. The Welcome to Seesaw messages will also pop up in the app. Ask your child about what they posted to start a conversation about their day. When your child posts something new, you will get a notification. And when your child adds posts to Seesaw, they'll be able to share their learning with you as well as their teacher. At the bottom of the screen, you can click Inbox to access your messages. You can click Journals to see your student's journal, and you can click Activities to see class announcements and activities that have been posted for your child to work on. These are examples of what the screens will look like. When you're looking at the journal screen, you'll be able to see your child's journal entries and where they can add a journal. Looking at the inbox, you can see messages that have been sent back and forth between you and the teachers. Seesaw is an excellent way to help families engage with their child's learning virtually. This is an example of a science activity, and if you look at the bottom, you could see how the child's parent was able to comment on the task. We encourage parents to provide positive comments as far as student work and journal entries and pieces that they're able to see through on Seesaw. We have also developed parent help pages about Seesaw. Those are posted as well as this video so that you can refer back to them for assistance as needed. This parent help document helps to explain what Seesaw does and how it's used between the classroom and the home. This parent handout will show you ways to be connected through Seesaw. We walked through these in the video, but this shows you the examples of what the QR code and the message can look like from your child's teacher. These are not real codes, but these are examples. Please connect with your child's teacher to get the code to their classroom. This parent help document shows the icons inside Seesaw to help provide a cheat sheet for the parents so they can see where each icon takes them and what they are able to do inside the app as a family member. The Cleveland Metropolitan School District looks forward to working with you to help support your child's learning. As we use Seesaw and learn the system together, we welcome you to reach out with questions. If you have questions or need additional support to successfully use this platform with your child, please reach out to your child's teacher and/or principal for more information.
Older students will be completing their coursework on the Schoology platform. So let's take a look at understanding your child's course schedule in Schoology.
Hi everybody, this is Principal Cohn from John Marshall IT, and today I'm going to show you how to log into Clever and get access to Schoology, which is where all of our courses are, and then see which courses are which period. So first we're going to go to Clever, so clever.com, and once you go there, you're going to come up here to the top right and log in as a student. And then it'll come up with this page. You want to hit the Login with Active Directory on the top. So click here. And what you're going to do is put your username, which is actually your email address. And hit Next. And then it's going to ask for your password. Your password is a set of numbers and letters that are both lowercase and uppercase. Once you get into Clever, you're going to see this page. You might have to scroll down to see Schoology. You're looking for this right here. But if you hit the heart, it'll actually keep it in your favorites so that it'll stay right up here on top and you won't ever have to scroll down. So click on Schoology. This is where all of our online learning is. And when you click on Schoology, you'll come up to a page like this. So this is what Schoology looks like. And when you first come in here and you go to courses, you'll hit your courses and you'll see all of the different classes that you have. The way that you're able to understand what period each course is by looking at the last number. So for example, this says section 1-1. So because it ends in a 1, this is your first period. Ceramics ends in a 2, so this is second period. And your environmental science ends with a 3, so this is third period. Advisory is fourth period. Lunch is 5th. World history ends with the 6, so that's 6th period. Geometry ends with the 7, so that is 7th period. And English 3 ends with an 8, so that's 8th period. And when you actually click into your classes, you can also see what the classes look like and what the actual course looks like. So this is more info about the course. Okay, got it. And you'll see the things that teachers have already posted. So when you want to come back to your course, come up here at the top, and then you can come down to a different course and click on it, and you'll see all of the things that your teachers have posted for you. So again, when you see your courses, the last number is the period. Hope this has been helpful, everybody.
We understand that this school year is different and that your scholar may need some time to adjust to the remote learning environment. So here are a few tips to help motivate your student.
Hey CMSD families, my name is Mr. Pish, and I'm from Newton D. Baker School of Arts. I was asked to come here and talk to you about how to motivate your scholar. But first, let's check out this killer setup I have of a nice study center for your scholar. They'll be discussing that more in later episodes. But again, I'm here to talk about how to motivate them in this space. One thing is you can offer rewards, and to track those rewards, you can use a sticker chart. By filling up a column, students can earn rewards that they've worked towards. Some of the rewards they could work towards would be play centers, Play-Doh, puzzles, erasers, stress balls. I know a lot of these probably look like you'd spend a lot of money, but I got most of them from the dollar store. Another thing you could do is use free rewards. Remember, a lot of our scholars just want some attention from you. Let them earn that. Maybe a movie time, where they get to bond with you on the couch and you guys can talk about the cool show. Maybe they can go outside and play a game or a sport with you. That's what our scholars really want. Another thing you could do is to stay positive. Remember, they're working hard, so we should make sure to encourage them. Also, maybe make a fun game out of it. Include a competition. If you get this work done before I finish dinner, there could be some ice cream in it for you. Something else you could consider would be a change of venue. With our flexibility with this remote learning, we can take our laptops and iPads anywhere. Maybe go sit under a tree. Maybe go take it to a park. Let the scholars experience the world around them as they're learning. Something else you could consider? Maybe some music. If our scholars are working hard, why not let them enjoy it? Let them pick out the music.
We understand that this is not your typical year, and that is why the district wants to thank you, our scholars, educators, and parents for your continued resiliency and flexibility during this pandemic. Remote learning, it is new to all of us, and that is why we want to leave you with a few tips about using ELA and math activities at home. We encourage you to do the best that you can and not to be afraid to ask for help. But more importantly, we want to welcome you back to school for the 2020-2021 school year. I'm Darielle Snipes. Thanks for watching.
Hello, young CMSD scholars and caregivers. I'm Mrs. Gannum from CMSD, offering a few tools and strategies to help with literacy learning at home. The first strategy I want to offer to you is used with just plain old index cards. I'm making my own memory game. I've took some random words like shred, brunch, and bells. I took these words because these are words that might be used in a classroom because you're studying digraphs, you're studying blends, you might be studying suffixes or bonus letters, you might be studying digraph blends, and you might be given a word list from your teacher. So I wrote those words on the cards like you see, and I took 3 other cards and I drew pictures to represent bells, shred, and brunch. I'm going to turn my cards over. I'm going to ask mom or dad to play a game with me. And whoever wins the game with the most matches is the first one to create some silly sentences, maybe act out a word, or maybe make a silly story. You can play the same type of game, making your own memory game, with your younger scholars if you have a preschooler studying the alphabet. You can take plain pieces of paper, put a letter on one piece of paper, and a picture to represent that letter. Like, for example, D, draw a dog on another paper. You can have a C, draw a cat on another piece of paper, and play a memory game with your younger scholars that way. Another extension of that would be a Go Fish game. You can have a stack of word cards, maybe a word list from your teacher, or just open up a book and grab some words out of a book, random, make a list of words on your own, make your own word cards, turn them upside down, ask your scholar to take 3 cards. Once they have their 3 cards, they have to look at their cards, show you their cards, and make a sentence. So I picked chat. I randomly picked chat, post, and mind. Now I would want to talk with mom or dad on how can I make a silly sentence or a real sentence using these 3 words. I might say, I don't mind if we stand by the post and chat for a while. Another strategy I want to offer during our remote learning is with reading. Find a good book of choice. After you have read at least a couple pages or the first chapter of a book, maybe it's a picture book for your younger scholars, stop, talk about it, and act it out. We almost all have Legos at home. We could build a scene from our book, or we can take some props that we have that we don't even realize we have at home. We could take our stuffed toys and we can act out scenes from our book. We can dress up and represent. We call that reader's theater. One thing that I always like to do is go back in the book, find the best pictures I can find, and close it up and recreate it. And then take my pictures and go retell the story. Maybe there's somebody at home that never heard any part of that story. I challenge your youngest scholars to draw out and represent the words that were read to them or read with them, and take their pictures and go tell the story just from their pictures to another family member in the house. And the last thing I want to offer to you is an awesome website for all of your scholars at home, and it's called techedresources.org. If you type techedresources.org, you can find so much to explore for elementary, middle, and high school. I challenge you to go to this website and see what you can find. We're in this together, and we hope to see you soon. But for now, I hope that you will take some of these literacy strategies and tools and use them at home.
Hi, CMSD parents, educators, fellow caregivers, and teachers. I am coming to you today to talk to you about math at home. My name is Yolanda Risner. I am a Cleveland Metropolitan School District teacher, and I currently teach at Hannah Gibbons STEM School. So I am coming to you to talk to you about how you can increase math talk at home with your children. So what I like to do with my own kids is just talk through everything, and they don't even realize that we're talking about math. The next thing we're going to talk about is geometry and spatial awareness. So when we talk about geometry, it's not necessarily as scary as the class geometry that you took when maybe you were in high school, but it's actually just talking about shapes and directions and making shapes in your body aware of different things around you. So you might say, we're going to talk about shapes today. Today we're going to talk about a circle. And they hold up that plate. A plate is a circle. What else is a circle? Oh, your bowl of Cheerios. That is a circle. Can you find anything else that's a circle? And maybe they look at the clock on the wall and they tell you that's a circle. Or something else around your house. Find different things that are circles. Then maybe you're moving on to the shape of a rectangle. And you say, hey, can you get out the rectangle cookie sheet? We're going to make some dinner. Or, oh, what shape is this card? This card is a rectangle. So those are other conversations you can have just to talk about finding shapes. Maybe you have them walk around and find you something that is a particular shape. Talk about the placement of things. When reading a storybook, you could talk about, where is the moon on this? Is it above the tree or is it below the tree? Is it under the tree? Or reference sizes by saying, is the fish bigger than the shark? Or is it smaller? Which animal is bigger? Which animal is smaller? You can make a map of your home and practice the spatial language by helping them make a map of their bedroom. The dresser is next to the bed. It is behind the rug. Those are questions that you can talk about how things are located. All right, everyone, our last topic today is measurement, which is my favorite topic to do at home because I personally love to bake. Now, even if you don't, just when you're following a simple recipe, read that recipe aloud to your children so that they start to hear math terms, that math talk in words that they will hear when they get to school. For example, saying something like half of the candy bar or 1/2 cup. When they are talking about doubling a recipe, teaching them that 1/4 a cup, if I double it, is the same as 1/2 a cup. How many 4th cups are in 3/4 of a cup? Letting them actually measure things out, even if it's something as simple as water. How many of these 4th cups do you think it will take to fill this up? And even if their measurements are not exact, that's okay because they're starting to play with math. The other thing you can do is teach them when you double a recipe. Well, if I had 1/4 of a cup and I added 1/4 of a cup to it, that's 2/4, which is the same as 1/2. Then they're hearing those terms, and you might just be thinking through them in your head, knowing what you are doing, but them hearing that math talk gets them prepared for it for school. The other thing with measurement is weight, and that can be as simple as, what do you think is heavier, a grape or an apple? And if you have a small scale, you could actually have them measure those things. Have them find something heavier than an apple. Have them go around the house and find something. These are things you can do while you're cooking. Send them on a scavenger hunt to find those things. The other concept with measurement is actually measuring things with a ruler or with a tape measure. My son loves running around and using the tape measure to measure things. And so I might say, find something that's longer than this card, or find someone that's the exact measurement of this card. You don't have to use a ruler for that. He can be running around the house finding, oh, this box is about the same size as the card, Mom. That's measuring. He's just measuring with a card. Or how many card lengths is this notebook? And you take it and they measure with the cards. They can use those for measurement too. So much for taking time with me today to learn about math at home. I hope you found one thing that you could take with you to have some math talk with your child. Have a great day.